And there you have it. Ascendance of Bookworm has officially been rebranded to Ascendance of a Producer-san. Myne is going into another world with my exploitive idol practices. Yes, bringing all the horrible things of the idol industry into another world. Now, granted, the world that Myne's in is, got a lot of horrible things in it already, so the idol industry and its exploitive aspects is nothing new to get to this world, but my gosh, I'm surprised that Myne and Ferdinand didn't kill each other by the end of the episode. They were at each other's throats the entire time. Like, Myne's over here trying to exploit him. He doesn't have anything to do with, playing the song. She's trying to make him into an idol, make money off of him. The next second, he's putting books on the table and going, "Here you go. Doesn't that look tasty? Oh, looks like your schedule's full, though." I like how Lutz later on is like, that's suicidal. Like, is he trying to die? Like, is he trying to get himself killed? Myne's over here just like, I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna totally print him out, and I'm gonna make a ton of money off of him. You don't care if he's embarrassed. I'm gonna do this. But yeah, the introduction of the mimeograph, which I know the process based on it being used for like screen printing and stuff like that, using different materials. I never really seen the process of using wax paper for actual printing. I've seen a lot of the other stuff they've done with this series so far, which they've gone through the whole like wood process, etching the wood and doing the ink that way. This one's a lot more, yes, it's very good for mass production, but at the same time, it's very delicate. And that's obviously showing in this episode. Their biggest problem right now is the wax paper. They need something that is very fine. It's, again, also very durable, something that could be used multiple times so that you can create that process. You want to make one of these films and then print it over and over and over and over again. You don't want it to break immediately. That's a very delicate process. Again, that's something I've seen done before, using different materials for like screen printing and whatnot to push ink through, little holes in a sheet rather than having to, bleed upwards, you're bleeding downwards. And that, again, is something they're trying to do with this one. Really cool to kind of see this whole process building up. And yeah, I think overall this episode was really solid because, unlike my complaints last episode, and it was the previous episodes as well, we're finally seeing something happen. We're finally moving forward. We're finally getting into more printing processes. We're trying to evolve the workshops. We're really kind of pushing forward. And yes, as I joked about before, and I honestly think it's going to actually be a thing, is, Myne producing a side gig here. Myne producing a side gig here, which, yes, we can get to the episode proper, opening up the episode again with this little discussion about her getting donations, her going to different parties, tea parties and whatnot. It's seemingly implying that Myne's not being taken seriously herself. It has her previous mom and her new mom, everybody's supporting her and they're using their trust that people have in them to get donations. It just kind of turns into a thing like it's her little project. Like, oh, here's Myne and she's so cute. She's got a workshop. Like, it implies that she's not being taken seriously and that they're just seeing her as like this little kid with a little side project. Not necessarily what exactly she's doing, just that, oh, cute. Myne's got a little toy that she's got. Let's give her some money or whatever. How cute. Let me pinch your cheeks. Anyways, that aside, yes, that gets into, them needing more money, even though it implies later on that she got all the money that she needed. They kind of imply the idea they got the donations they needed, and it's all been sent off to Benno, and they're doing good. Anyways, they need more money. Either way, they need more money. And yes, this develops into the idea of Myne realizing, hey, I remember back in my previous world, whenever churches need to make money, they sold stuff. Hey, is there old stuff in the church we can sell? I thought that they were being offended by this. I actually thought when, I think it was Elvira spoke up, I thought they were offended by this idea of like, wait, you're going to sell stuff in the church? Like, that's blasphemy or something like that. In some churches, that's not looked upon well. The idea of making money from things that are supposed to be seen as holy or whatever. But no, it's literally like she looks over and goes, $ at Ferdinand. Like, I'm expecting them all be going, yeah, anything discarded from his room that we can buy, like a hairbrush or something. Like, I can see them wanting like old towels, his old sheets, pillowcases, something like that. They're all wanting stuff that they could smell or something like that. But no, Myne immediately thinks, yeah, that's right. Ferdinand's really popular idol. It's actually shocking that she hasn't thought about this before. But yes, like literally like $ appear on her eyes as she's like, I immediately had to clip that. She's like, she's got the $ in her eyes. Yes, we gotta make Ferdinand into an idol. She wants him to play an instrument in front of a bunch of people, and initially it's like, sell admission there, but she straight goes to, again, the idol industries. She goes into the idea of, selling tickets rather than sending out invites. That way you can actually charge for the admission to it. And then, of course, upon, going in there, you get little pamphlets and whatnot, and she wants to actually produce those as well. My assumption is that along with the idea of selling the tickets, she's going to be, showing, hey, look, this is a little pamphlet you get alongside of it, and it's got this really nice print of him. So she's got her girl over here literally going to be drawing a nice little portrait of Ferdinand to print onto little pamphlets to give out during the same time. Like, she going full on merch mode. She going full on like tickets and merch bill. They even have at the very end of the episode, they have that little cute little like skit thing where they have the characters talking. They even imply the idea of sort of creating a artificial scarcity that a lot of these industries do, or the idol industry itself does, and a lot of venues do, where they go, okay, well, there's plenty of space in there, but what you'll do is you'll make certain areas more expensive because there's so limited seating there, and then you make the other areas seem like they're cheaper, but in actuality, you're creating that desire, that FOMO for the closer areas, which are going to be a lot more expensive, and overall make more profits. Again, they're already really kind of laying this out as straight up idol industry. We're going to get him on the stage. He's going to be a total hit. The women are going to be clamoring to get the tickets. They're going to want all the merch. We're going to sell some little pamphlets and stuff. We're going to make money. If she could make CDs, she'd be selling them. If she could do the CDs, she'd be selling them. We're going to make some fans. We're going to make a whole bunch of stuff. If she could make glow sticks, she'd do it. It's dorky. Her just absolute excitement, trying to talk Ferdinand into it. The entire time, the other ladies are going, come on, you can do it. Come on, you can do it. Come on, talk him into it. Talk him into it. I'm curious to see how much they lean in on it. This whole entire episode felt like they were leaning in on the idol industry stuff pretty heavily, so I'll be interested to see if they do more of it. But anyways, yes, following this, it seems like she believes that Ferdinand is bullying her now. Okay, show up for your magic practice. We're doing magic practice. And immediately, is he gonna like torture me because I forced him into this whole thing? Oh, she has to produce her high beast. Which this was the thing that I seen in the PV, and it's in the OP as well. And so it's slight spoilers here. It's in the OP and it's in the last PV. This is the moment where I was like, what are we doing? This felt like, when I seen the PV for this, I felt like it's jumping the shark. Like, everything else, and it's stupid that I believe everything else that's fitting in this world with, like, flying chimera things and magic and all this kind of stuff, and choking some chubby priest guy with your eyeballs. Everything else aside, the car dog thing... The car dog thing. I'm assuming this is the process to create the car dog thing. I'm glad it wasn't this episode. I was getting ready to make it my thumbnail because damn, that thing is so dorky looking, but I'm assuming this is the process which to create that, which is, again, they're calling it High Beast. This is exactly what they rode around with Ferdinand and everything. It's the big beast that they ride around. Apparently, because she's going to be traveling a lot, he's like, hey, you got to get yourself one. So it's time to make yourself one. Now, interesting that they have this little gem thing that he gives her, and it's drawing out the mana from her. It dies very quickly, which is an assumption here because of how much mana it seems like she has. This has been pretty much her detriment this entire time she's been in this world. So it makes sense that she has a ton to give it. But also, she has to envision what she wants and expand it. And it seems like at some point, because she was afraid it would explode, and apparently imagined the idea that it would explode, it ends up exploding. The interesting thing here, though, is that, yes, he, shields her and everything. Everybody panics and runs in there. He's like, it's fine. She just made a mistake. He yells at her saying, you pretty much imagined it exploding, so what did you expect? To which my response would be, I didn't know what to expect because you didn't tell me what the hell we were doing. You literally handed it to me and said, imagine it being bigger. You didn't tell me what not to imagine. You didn't tell me what not to do. You just literally said, do this thing, and expected my brain not to do anything else. It's just smack Ferdinand. Smack the boy. But anyways, yes. The thing that upsets him here is obviously the fact that she just destroyed this very valuable face stone. Interesting, and I'm curious why I didn't get into more details of this. It seems to imply that you can't fix it now that it's broken, like it's useless because she broke it, can't be repaired, but yet she imagines it being clay and it becomes one again. To which he responds absurd, and that cuts scenes. So I'm assuming she managed to fix it, and he's saying absurd because she just pulled off something that shouldn't be possible, and he's just going, God, this girl did it again. So I'm assuming she was able to recover it, and she's going to still use that same gem, but it's more odd that they didn't really kind of finish the process. She repaired it, and they're like, okay, whatever. We cut scenes, we're doing something else. So I'm guessing they're going to practice again later on. But anywho, following this, yes, we have Myne getting frustrated that she's being bullied again. The fact that he keeps putting books out there. The fact that he's got Riarda, getting in the way too. all that kind of crap. Until, yes, eventually we have Benno and Lutz show up, and Myne gets to vent her frustrations to Lutz again. He's bullying me. They're doing all this crap to bully me. He's like, wow, he's being suicidal if he's doing that. I love that whole little bit. I love that little chamber in general because, again, it's Myne just being able to finally vent. And, like, even Benno's getting mad about how much they're, like, putting on his plate. And she's like, you don't realize how hard it is to make money from these stupid nobles. And he's like, actually, you're right. And very quickly, he steps back when he realizes what she's saying. Yeah, you're kind of right. Getting money from these nobles is not fun. I don't want to do that. But yes, this turns into her kind of reiterating the importance of trying to get this entire mimeograph process completed because they want to have it ready by the time that Ferdinand does his little concert. They got him to agree to it. The date's already set. They got to get this done before we get to that point. Otherwise, they're not going to make a bunch of money. They could just have the ticket sales and they're going to show up. He's going to do the song, but it'd be better to have the process done so they can sell the pamphlets too, which is going to make more money. It's merch. It's all merch. This is the point where they give a decent explanation about the process itself, and it makes sense here. Again, they're just kind of creating sort of divots in the wax paper so that when you do, take a roller of ink and you roll it over it, that roller will push the ink down into those holes. The holes will go through and it will seep into the paper that's underneath the wax paper. And again, this is sort of a process where you can have on a board, and then you can just bring it down on the paper, run the roller over it, bring the board back up, take the paper out, put the next paper in, bring the board back down, roll it over the wax paper again. It's a really quick process too. It's really cool stuff. And yes, I agree to her point. It's technically a way that you can have much finer visuals as well. If you can create very small, very fine little holes from this whole process of making the divots, you're able to make a much more finer image. Again, you're basically shrinking the amount of pixels. She describes it as pixels, but you're increasing the dots per inch that you're going to create an image. That said, though, yes, she needs Lutz to figure out how to make the wax paper for them, and the response from Benno is, no, I need Lutz still. We're short-handed and everything like that, and she hands him a thing. I'm assuming that is more money? Like that's an agreement or something like that he can have more workers or something like that? I'm assuming it's got to be some sort of contract. It didn't say exactly what she handed over to him. And yeah, after they wrap up the meeting, they go off to go to the workshop, at which point she tells Bridget and Daniel to stay behind. And of course, they don't agree to that, at which point she agrees for Daniel to come, but not Bridget. Now, this seemed like kind of mean at first, but it does technically make a lot of sense. Yes, she has a lot more trust that she can give to Daniel. He's somebody of a lower family. They don't even have any sort of land of their own. I guess the assumption here is that if he does take these secrets and try to do something with them, he's much more easier to take down or to punish or to stop in the process of. They're both risk factors. It's just that Bridget is a lot more immediate and she's got the more capability of doing something with that information. There's much more to gain for her in that scenario. And yes, as Myne puts it, she really cares for her family. It seems like she's currently doing what she's doing right now in order to protect her family. She broke off this relationship. She's got this guy coming down upon her. There's a lot to gain by taking these secrets and trying to sell them. So again, she's a massive risk. I get it. I really do. It's actually odd here because I assumed that Daniel had already been to the warehouse before. I thought he was already serving as her guard before. But again, that was during the time that she was at the cathedral. So yeah, kind of a slight on Bridget, but at the same time, it's nice that she at least understands. I kind of wish that Myne would have vocalized the idea of her care for her family a bit more. That would be more understanding of her choice there, but either way, it's just kind of, circumstances. But anyways, we wrap up the episode with them checking out the wax paper. Again, it seems like it's too fragile. It's not going to work out. And yeah, despite, the embarrassment of Ferdinand, she's dead set on making this process work so they can make some money. She's going to make that money. Really good episode. Again, I'm really happy that they started picking things up. I had my frustrations last episode talk about how I felt like it's spending too much time introducing people, not enough time doing something. And we're kind of answering that finally with this episode, getting things moving. But anyways, that's my thoughts on episode 4 of season 4 of Ascendance of Bookworm, or Ascendance of a Producer Son. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. Until next time, you'll take care.